much ado about something. I don't know if you can hear the roaring, the winds. We have got a storm this morning, which I think maybe a lot of people do, but it's pouring rain. It alternates between a light rain and a pouring rain. There's strong winds. It's 10 minutes to 10, and look how dark it is outside because of this storm. I do have daffodils blooming out in the garden, but I can't take you out there and show you because it's cold and rainy and dark, and so I'm just inside here. I did pluck a few yesterday when my friend came, and I put them here as we drink our tea. We got to enjoy these daffodils out from the front of the garden, and I've got all my bunnies out here because, you know, I've got to decorate with them soon. Cookie says it's just time to cozy up. No sense in worrying about doing nothing but getting a rest because it's just too cold and rainy to do much of anything else. I'm going to make a cup of tea this morning. Let's see if it's, yeah, got plenty of water in it. I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is the new tea I got from Harney & Sons, and it's called True Blue Oolong. Treat yourself to True Blue Oolong, winner of our 2024 Customer Blending Contest. Indulge in the complexities of oolong tea, made unique by the bright colors of butterfly pea flower and fruit flavors. Oh, so I'm looking forward to that. The tea is only good as the water it's brewed in. Use filtered water as needed. Use one sachet for each cup of tea desired. Pour less than boiling water, 175 degree Fahrenheit, over the sachet. Infuse for 3 minutes. I know how to say sachet. I don't know why. I'm having trouble talking this morning. Some days are like that. Pour less, infuse for 3 minutes, remove the sachet, relax, and enjoy. So the ingredients are oolong tea, butterfly pea flower, lemon peel, apple pieces, blueberries, blueberry flavor, lemon flavor, vanilla flavor, and it contains natural flavorings. So I'm looking forward to trying this beautiful tea. You know, blue is my favorite color anyway. I love the color blue. It's so relaxing to me. It's my favorite color to live with. I love a lot of colors, but blue is my favorite color. Let's give this the whiff test. We got to smell it. My goodness, it smells delicious. It smells like you could just pick it out of here and eat it. That's how good this tea smells. Let me get a cup. I don't even have a teacup over here. Got a cup. Now I am excited to try all of these flavors. All of these flavors sound delicious to me, and I've never had blue tea before. So I'm anxious to see it change blue. Maybe I should get a teacup that's not colored inside so we can see the true color of the tea. I'll just go ahead and jump ahead and get this spring cup. It's white inside, so we can see the tea if it turns blue. It's supposed to turn blue. I think it was that pea in there that makes it turn blue. Yeah, the butterfly pea flower. That's what makes this tea turn blue. So this green cup would be hard to see the blue tea in it, so we'll just go right ahead and use the cup that's white inside. I'll let the water cool down just a little bit because, you know, the instructions said, oh, it is turning blue. The instructions said to, you know, not use boiling water. Well, look at that. So we've got to let this steep for about 3 minutes. It's already a pretty blue for sure. I'll just let it steep for about 3 minutes. And then I'll see what it tastes like. Let's see. That tea sure is blue. I don't have any sugar or anything in it. I'm just going to taste it like it is. Kiddos are here, so I'm having to make meals for today. Go ahead and start it. They're wanting lunch. Well, it's about 11:30, so yeah, it would be lunch. They're wanting to eat lunch. I'm going to taste this tea. This might be my new favorite. I think this is probably the best tea I've ever tasted. And I've tasted a lot of tea. I usually like black tea in the morning, but I chose this morning. My gosh, it's delicious. It's a really good tea. I'm not selling it. I do have a affiliate link for them. I'll try to remember to include it, in the description of this video, to Harney & Sons, and it gives you $10 off your first order over a certain amount, and it gives me a $10 credit. So if you want to order anything from Harney & Sons, that tea's made in, it's assembled in America. Of course, the teas are from all over the world, the best places where teas are grown. But this is good. If you want to try an unusual tea, it's the True Blue Oolong. I love blue, and I thought it'd be fun just to try it. That's what made me try this tea, and here it is in all of its glory. A nice blue tea. I like to leave my little tea bag in there and get all the goodness out of it. Look at all that pretty stuff in there. But I am going to go ahead and take it out so you can see the tea. That's a treat for me today to drink this blue tea. Well, I want to bake today. It's cold and rainy outside, and I'm in the mood. I've dropped my phone and broke my pop socket off of my phone, and so now it's really hard for me to hold it when I film. So if you start seeing my fingers a lot in the videos, you'll know it's because I'm trying to adjust holding my phone without a pop socket. Of course, I do use the tripod when I can, but I like to just show you what I'm doing and move around with it a little bit. I've got a couple of things that I want to make. I'm going to make bread today, just homemade bread. The kids are wanting to bake a cake, so I let them bake a cake from a cake mix. So we'll probably bake that cake today. I don't know what kind it is. Let me get them in here and let them pick out a cake. Okay, so we are going to make a Betty Crocker Super Moist Cake Mix, the chocolate fudge one, and we're going to use the Funfetti Vanilla icing.
With sprinkles.
Now, in our area, it costs about $5 to make a cake. If to buy a cake mix and the frosting already, it's about $5 for these. And then, of course, you take them home and bake them. But Ellie and I, when we went to the Walmart to just pick up cake mix and everything, we saw these on the Valentine's Day clearance. Do you remember how much we got these for, Ellie?
Maybe. Well, they were on
clearance, yeah.
I remember we got them for 47 cents because they were on sale.
Yeah, they were on the
Valentine's Day set.
Yeah, Valentine's Day clearance rack. And look at this. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this cake mix.
It's called Funfetti Cake Mix with Candy Bits.
Yeah, and it's the Pillsbury brand. And then you had the Funfetti Pillsbury icing. So for around $1, just a little over $1 with tax, we got this cake mix. And so we're going to go ahead and make the Betty Crocker because she wants chocolate. And she had picked this out to go with her cake mix when we went and you picked it out. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go ahead and make the chocolate one. Mm-hmm. But that I wanted to show y'all how you can get a really good deal.
Yeah. For very cheap price.
Yeah. See, this would last a while. Let's see what the expiration date is on that.
It says it goes back until May 13th, 2026.
Yeah, so that would give you plenty of time to use that thing.
It would take a year.
And then this, you can actually freeze. You can actually freeze these in the box and everything. I usually put them in a baggie and freeze them. Just cut the instructions out and put it in there with. And you can take, and that'll last, well over a year. So that's a good idea if you're on a strict budget and you're paying attention to your pennies. If you like lifestyle, budget-friendly home and garden, please subscribe to Much Ado About Something, because that's what we're all about here.
Yeah.
Well, I had to go to Sam's today and pick up a few things. Today's Friday, and so the weekend's coming up, and I just had to go ahead and get the groceries. We usually spend about $130 every 2 weeks on groceries, so that adds up to about $260 that we spend. And we don't always get the same thing, every 2 weeks, but we do get the same things over a period of time. Like we'll get a case of toilet paper, and then on one of the 2-week rotations, and then we won't need that again until maybe 2 more rotations later. So every 2 weeks we go and get groceries. Well, here's a few things that I got. I got the Members Mark sparkling water. My grandkids like these. I got the ice drinks because that's what I drink. I got the 2 things of distilled water. I've got to work on my ferments. I've got kefir, kombucha, vinegar, different ferments that need distilled water because we're on city water here. I got these 4 pounds of apples. I'm not sure what kind they are. 2 favorites, 1 great apple wild twist. I got yellow onions, 10 pounds of yellow onions because we eat a lot of those in our recipes. This is one of the processed things that I got, and that's this white cheddar flavored popcorn. Got that for the kids. I got Donald's Diet Lipton teas. That's what he likes to drink. I got a case of Yoo-Hoos for the kiddos. And Sam's did not have milk. They did not have whole milk. They had plenty of I'm going to leave some of those heavy things in the car for Donald to carry out. I'm not even going to carry them out. But they didn't have whole milk, and we don't drink 1% or 2% because they've taken out the fat and they've put in sugar. So we don't drink the reduced fat milks at all. We either drink whole milk or no milk at all. But I did have to run by Food Line, and they did have plenty of whole milk. So I got the whole milk from Food Line instead of Sam's like I normally do. I like to get milk at Target too. I wanted to show you that we've got some daffodils here in the garden that are blooming out, and it's cold. It's a cold day. I don't know if it's going to rain or not, but it does feel like it's going to rain. The little heads are dropping down because they usually aim towards the sun and they hold up. These are some pale daffodils right here. They're pretty though. Plenty of daffodils around the borders of the garden. And then there's plenty right here too. Where the little crocus are. The crocus are not opened up because it's a cloudy day. So the daffodils are looking pretty. Now I used to have a whole lot more daffodils than what we've got right here. But I think it's time to dig those up and replant them, because they're not quite growing like they usually do. These over here are not as full as they have been, because this is where I've been clipping my daffodils from. I've been clipping right here and taking them in the house and putting them in a vase. There's some daylilies coming up over here near the rocks. Just the green part, of course. There'll be some hyacinths that'll be coming up later. They'll be blooming in the next few weeks. They're right here. A lot of things coming up here in this little garden. Getting ready for spring. These are the lamb's ears. They're coming back. You can see right here. Now, the daffodils are not all that spectacular right now. They're spread out through the garden here, but this camellia is still spectacular. It's still just showing off. Still really pretty. We've been cutting these and taking them in the house and enjoying these. Still really, really pretty. Well, I'm back in now. It's kind of cold out there. Chilly. I don't know how cold it's supposed to be, but it feels like it's going to rain again. I am going to finish the haul. I got these yellow potatoes. We call them golden potatoes. I just love these things. I love to stew these things. I got lemons, apples, a sweet kale chopped salad kit. I'm going to eat one of these for lunch today, and Donald will probably eat one for supper when he gets home. I got this butter because I'm going to be baking some, and I'm going to need this butter. Got this venison because, this beef jerky because it's a good snack, low carb snack. Got Madeline some strawberries, or the kids, grandkids in general. Madeline just goes really crazy over these. I've already washed her a few, sliced them up, and she's already had those for today. Well, I've been doing a little research on my channel just to see what y'all like to watch. And according to my analytics, I have all across the board ages that watch my channel. Thank you. You're welcome here. If you like budget friendly, well, if you like lifestyle, which is Appalachian lifestyle for me, budget friendly home and garden, then you'll like this channel. And I appreciate all of you, all of the viewers all the way across the channel. Well, in doing some research, I wanted to see what kind of videos you wanted to see me make. And it was two that topped the list by far. And that is bread. You want to see me make bread. So I will be making bread soon here for you. And the other thing you want to see me make is a homemade DIY cleaner. And I can certainly do that. So I'll be doing that and sharing that with you before too much longer here. Just wanted you to know that in the research, that's what you wanted me to wanted to see me do. So that's what I'll be doing soon. I have been needing to work on my ferments for a while. You know, you really have to keep them up if you want to get the optimal benefit from them. So I've got black tea here that I had made last night, and I've let cool off because I'm going to put my kombucha in it. Over here is where I keep my kombucha. It's right here. It's got a good mother on it. But it's time for me to make more tea so I can make more kombucha. So I'll be doing that today. I've got my sourdough starter right here. I've got to make sure I get that fed and keep that going. I've got kefir grains in here. I've got to make sure that I use all of that and make new kefir. I've got several quarts of kefir grains going right here. I really need a designated area to keep all of my ferments. I just basically kind of squeeze them in right here because I'm here a lot and it's easy for me to go ahead and feed them. Go ahead and take care of them. But I've got all of the stuff here that I ferment. Here is just vinegar. This is just vinegar. Here is honey and garlic with vinegar. Half honey, half vinegar, and then poured over a 3/4 container quart jar of garlic cloves. And then here's all these are kefir, water kefir. So I've got to drain these and make sure I feed the kefirs today. Make sure I feed my sourdough starter. Check on my 2 vinegars. You can see those right there. That's got the coffee filter over them. That's the vinegars that I've got going. I'm pretty sure that's just apple peel vinegar. Gotta work that in today with all my other chores. me trying to find something. I gotta fix something good for supper tonight, and since it's cloudy, it might be a really good day for chicken and dumplings. So I'll probably make chicken and dumplings. I have a video on my channel how to make chicken and dumplings 2 different ways. I make them with the drop dumplings and with the rolled out pastry dumplings. So if you're interested in that, that's on my channel. Feel free to find that video and enjoy that, and it'll show you how to make chicken and dumplings or the way I make them. I'm going to make them today and just enjoy them. I'm a little petered out. I'm a little exhausted from just going and getting the Sam's. You know, by the time you walk through Sam's, load up your cart. I used my app to check it all out today. Made it much easier in getting out. But then I had to go load it in the car, get home, unload it out of the car, and then I got to put it all up. Which is a great blessing to be able to do, because, you know, we need groceries and they don't teleport over here. We have to go get them, and I don't mind going and getting them. I love to go pick out my own groceries. I like to see what I'm buying, picking out before I buy it, especially if I get produce. So that's the reason I don't have delivery. It's just easier for me if I go in there and make the decisions myself. That's just my personal choice. So I've got to get with that today. I just wanted to show you my Sam's haul, let you know what's going on. Thank you for joining me today. And like always, until next time. Now I'm fixing our lunch. I'm going to have this sweet kale chopped salad kit. It's got broccoli, green cabbage, kale, Brussels sprouts, pepitas, radicchio, and cranberries. So here we go. I've got this here. We're going to open this and put it in here. It's the little stuff that comes in it, the dressing, the pumpkin seeds, the cranberries. I'm going to open them and put them in here. And I'm going to eat them out of this today instead of a bowl. And then if I don't finish it, I'll just zip it up and finish it in a little bit. I've got the water boiling. I'm going to make the kids some macaroni and cheese because that's what they wanted. I like these little individual salads that you get from Sam's. They're already prepared. They are nice mixes. They're not overly expensive, and they're really good. If you're trying to watch it, be health conscious. Well, this kombucha is ready to be added more tea to it. It's got to be refreshed. Now what I have here is I've got my tea that I made the other night, or last night. So I've got just black tea in here. I boiled water, and then I added tea bags, and I let them soak, and I've got this infusion. Right here is water that I ran out into the sink, into this bucket, and I let set for more than 24 hours so that I could let the chlorine and everything evaporate out of it, so I could go ahead and use this in my ferments, and all the chemicals that come from my tap, because I'm in the city, with all the chemicals in the water, wouldn't affect my ferments. That's what I do. You can buy distilled water too, and I do have some distilled water, but today I'm going to use this because I prepared ahead of time to be sure that I would have this to work with my ferments. I'm bringing my kombucha right over here. This is all the kombucha tea that I've got left from this fermentation. It's not a lot. And I'm going to put it, my SCOBY, my symbiotic colony of yeast, my symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. I'm going to put it in this bowl that I've got right here. I'm going to just lift out my mother to my SCOBY and put it in my bowl that I've got here. I'll try to get to where I can show you what I'm doing. I don't know if you know anything about kombucha. It was real big for a while, and then you just don't hear about as much about it. It's a wonderful health drink. That's my SCOBY right there. That's my colony of yeast, bacteria and yeast. And I'm going to head and put most of what I've got left on in here, because it's got a lot of good yeast right there. And I'm going to go ahead and wash the container that I've had my SCOBY stored in, that I have over here, that I dip out of and I use it. Now I'm going to try to wash this big container that I keep my kombucha tea going in, and I'm going to try to do it without splashing anything in my water that I've got right here. Let me get the lid and just put it over here. You can't cover this up while it's dissipating, because you're letting all the chemicals, the chlorine and such, dissipate out of here, so you have to keep it open. But I'm just going to put this lid over it so that I won't splash anything in it while I'm cleaning this big container that I'm going to put all my stuff back in. Now this is just dish soap that I'm going to spray this down and clean it with. I'd recommend using whatever soap you use to clean your dishes. Now once I've got that container good and cleaned, I'm going to go ahead and start making the tea to go back in it. Here's my SCOBY. Here's the tea. Now I'm going to add some sugar in here. I'm probably going to put about 2 cups of sugar in here. This is a large container and it can take that much. And I'm just going to make a gallon of tea for Donald to drink for dinner while I'm at it. I had to stop and get that container right here to make our tea in. You know, I had that big pot of black tea right here. I put half of it in here, you know, this container half full, and I put about 3/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to add water to that, and that's going to be our tea for supper this afternoon. Here's my SCOBY. I covered this up so nothing could splash in it, and I added 2 cups of sugar and the rest of the tea out of that pot. I thought I had my camera on, but I didn't. I was over here just showing away, and I had forgot to turn my camera on. But that's the few steps that I did. I just put the tea in the container for supper and the sugar. And the tea is room temperature, so the sugar is melting in it pretty good. And here is my new black tea for my SCOBY. So I'll be mixing that up. I'm going to add just a little bit more water to this, the distilled water. And I've got other ferments to work with today that I'll be using this water. So I'm not putting it all in here. Well, it's the water that I set out so that the chlorine and everything could evaporate out of it, and I could use it for my ferments. Now I've moved the SCOBY back over here. Now I could divide this right now. It's got another layer under here. It kind of forms in layers. Some people call this a mushroom. I remember my aunt had one of these and she called it a mushroom. And you can divide this right here and give somebody one of the SCOBYs at this point. Now the top, this SCOBY will cover the whole area of the jar that it's exposed to. So if it was in a smaller jar, you know, you'd only need a piece of this and it would cover the whole area of your jar. So that's what's happened here. That's why I've got this big, nice, round SCOBY here. And here's the new one up underneath. And you can see all the stuff that's hanging down. That would be a new one. So all you need, really, is one piece of this to go in here. But I go ahead and keep both of my SCOBYs because, you know, I've got one to give away. And then I've got one that's, you know, fermenting this tea really good. So I'm just putting mine back in there. You can give yours away. Now this tea right here, it's got a lot of good stuff in here. In fact, it's so, I can just feel the symbiotic bacteria in there that hasn't colonized yet. It's just fully in there. In fact, here's a little, you can see the little starter. Now I'm going to put some of this liquid right here back into my jar. It'll be happy to get back in there. Now I don't have to renew this as much in the winter time because it's cooler in the house, and I don't have to feed this as much. I'm going to go ahead and get a glass of it and just get a little drink of it here while before I start pouring it into the big jar. Now don't freak out. I'm going to use a stainless steel dipper here to put some in this glass. And I'm just going to drink about this much. I like to add water and ice to it sometimes. And I'm going to put the rest into this black tea that I've got going on here. Stainless steel is non-reactive. I use stainless steel in most all of my ferments just for the few seconds that it takes to transfer something over. Now there we go. I'm going to take this back over to its home over here where it lives. It's okay that my SCOBY is down here. It'll all rise up to the top, not necessarily this whole thing, but the new SCOBY will rise up on the top, and that's perfectly okay. I've got a new coffee filter right here. Ellie is going to put this rubber band on here, but I've got a new filter to keep, you know, gnats out. Thank you. So here it is. It's going to be happy for a little while. It's been fed in its new black tea. I've got the new filter on it, and that's where it's going to stay for a while. This is just the tea that I got for supper tonight. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the water and go ahead and stir that in. It's already got the sugar in it. That'd be great with a fresh slice of lemon or just like it is. And then that's what we drink with our supper a lot of the time. Well, I'm just going to take the time right now and feed my kefir water. Is kefir water. Kefir water is treated a little different from kefir milk grains. So I keep this going because it's just a good alternative to cutting out any kind of sodas or anything like that. I keep a coffee filter over it. I am going to use stainless steel, and I'll hear a lot of flack. Oh, you should never use ferments with metal. You should never use ferments with reactive metal. Reactive metal would be something like aluminum, silver plated. Things like that are reactive. Stainless steel is used much like glass. It is not reactive. And no longer than these are going to be in this, I do use the aluminum for my kefir water. I'm going to pour them in this little strainer. I'm going to strain the juice off. I will retain some of the juice to add back in here after I have fed it. I'm going to go ahead and wash these jars. That's quite a bit of grains in there. They look good. They look good and healthy. I'm going to go ahead and wash the jars and go on from there. Now I have 3 quarts going on. I know the stainless steel bowl will hold all of it. I want to see if this little strainer will hold all of my grains. Well, it does. That's good. Now I'm just going to go ahead and wash these jars on up with some dish soap and water. By having these 3 little quart jars, it makes it really easy to keep my kefir or kefir, whichever way you want to say it. You know, we're Southern Appalachian, so we say kefir. We don't want to waste any vowels now. We make sure we enunciate all those vowels really good. Now, I purchased my kefir grains from Florida Sun Kefir. Let's see if I can share it with you. Right here is the website. And I kept my instructions when I purchased these grains so that I'd know what to do with them as I was using them. I've had them for quite a few years now. It gives you a little table if you're making 1 quart, 1/2 a gallon, or 1 gallon. It gives you how much grains, water, sugar, dissolved sugar, and molasses to put in each one to keep them going, to keep them doing good. So I try to follow my directions that I got here when I purchased these grains, and it's really helped them to go along here. I like to keep them in these quart jars that are opaque. They're not easily seen through. You know, they block out a lot of the light, and the kefir grains like that. So I'm going to go ahead and make what it says to do. Go ahead and do what it says to do. Now for the 1 quart, it says, or here's the 1 quart area, and it says the kefir grains, we're going to use 1/4 cup of those, 30 ounces of water, 1/4 cup dissolved sugar, and 1 tablespoon of molasses. So that's what we're going to use to feed our kefir water. Now I've got this quart jar here, and it happens to have the ounces here on the back. That helps out a lot with the measurements if you can find a jar that's already got the ounces on the back. That 30 ounces of water doesn't leave me a whole lot of room to put everything that I need to put in, but I think it'll work out good. Now I've got the room temperature water that just come from where I left it out to get rid of the chlorine and stuff. Oops. Got a little bit too much in that one and not enough in the one over on the side. So what you do is you dissolve the sugar in here into the water. So I'm going to put 1/4 cup of sugar in each one. I'm going to put a tablespoon of molasses into each one. And again, I'm using a stainless steel spoon. You want this well dissolved before you add your kefir grains back into the water. The molasses feeds it some minerals and things that it needs. Now I'm just going to add about 2 raisins to each one. The instructions don't tell me to do this, but this is just something that I like to do. I think I'm going to have to pour just a little bit of this water out. If I can put it back in, then I will. But I'll have to reduce my water for this. For me to be able to fit my grains in here. Now I'm gently going to slide 1/4 cup of grains into each one of my jars. Kefir water grains do multiply. So you can keep them or give them away to other people. Now I'm going to take some of the juice from the water that I had these in previously, and I'm going to add it to these jars. This is actually the water that you drink. It's what comes off of the grains. I'm going to add a coffee filter and a rubber band to cover to keep any kind of fly, fruit fly, gnat, anything that this fermented drink might draw. And now I got them going on for a while here. They've been well fed and taken care of. Whoops. I don't want to tear my coffee filter. The vinegar that I have really doesn't need anything. I really don't need to do anything to the vinegar. But maybe just put it into a amber jar, some kind of jar that a lot of sunlight's not going to get through to. That's about all I'll have to do. Thank you for joining me today, and let me share with you my ferments and how I take care of them.